Dubai is the land of dreams. Everything is possible. Just have a walk around in the city. Every dream that you would have about level of luxury, entertainment, lifestyle, you will find it in Dubai. So if you want to start your own business, you can in 24 hours initiate your own business. Safety and security is second to none.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to this new interview series. I'm really excited to share something new with you, bring into Dubai. So throughout this interview series, you're going to be seeing a lot of different guests that for me are an inspiration that can bring some value to the listeners. And today, without further ado, I want to introduce my first guest. DR.BAYDOUN is the head of development at Damac. If you don't know who Damac is, or Damac are one of the leading industry experts in development here in Dubai. And also, he is an MMA and fitness CrossFit champion. And of course, he is also a published author. So without further ado, if you'd like to introduce yourself, what is it you do, and tell me a little bit about yourself.
Hi Joe, nice to meet you. I'll talk to you who I am professionally and personally. And professionally, I am currently the head of development of Damac. In a nutshell, I'm responsible for formalizing the products and putting the vision of the products that we are launching into the market, going through the process of identifying the right mix, the right sizes, the USP of the project, putting this together in architectural plans, working closely with different departments, including sales and marketing, to come up with the launch strategy and the product that you're seeing in the market. If I want to summarize what I do in Damac, that's what I do in a nutshell in Damac. Now, on the personal level, I'm pretty much a fitness enthusiast. I started my fitness career back when I was 14 years old. I was the champion of Lebanon in karate for 2 consecutive years. I had my first black belt at the age of 17. And then I competed in Muay Thai for quite some time. Then I came back to fighting in my early 30s. I got my second black belt in MMA Jiu-Jitsu. And still practice MMA up till this time. But I stopped competing quite a few years ago to avoid injuries. Alternatively, now I'm focusing more on calisthenics to complement my training. But I still also competing in CrossFit champions up till now.
Yeah, so I guess this is where we have something in common, you know, and it's something we're going to talk a bit later on, how fitness is such a big part of our lives. But tell me, so, you know, you are the head developer of Damac, but, you know, that doesn't just happen to anybody. Tell me about the journey. Tell me about what steps led up to this very moment.
The journey started when I was actually 8 years old. That's where I decided I want to study architecture. My cousin was doing his graduation project. I was just playing around, seeing how he's preparing his model for his graduation project. And I was collecting actually the leftovers of what he was doing for his project. And I created my first design at that point in time. And I said, well, that's what I want to do for a living. When I finished school, I went to the School of Architecture, and I was lucky to have the #1 ranking on my promotion. So I got a scholarship to do a master's in urban design, and I took that opportunity. At that point in time, the concept of development was not present in the region, because the concept of development would be required only when you go for large-scale projects. And the beginning of the 2000s, this is where the era of large-scale projects started kicking in into the Middle East region. At that point in time, the dean of the university, American University of Beirut, was leaving to work for a development company. And he told me, you know what, you are one of my brightest students. What if you don't join us for the summer break? I went there, and that was the starting of my development career. I didn't leave. I worked for a company called Millennium at that point in time, which was owned by the Prime Minister of Lebanon. And I was fortunate to work with them for 14 years. During that time, I was exposed to the most prestigious projects in the Middle East region, like the Haram Plaza expansion, Jabal Omar project, who's the first project in Saudi Arabia to be publicly listed, South Johor, a financial district in Malaysia, so on and so forth. So basically, I was pretty much fortunate to have this international exposure. In the process, I had to develop my skills because architecture and technical skills were not enough. So I had to study more on the financial feasibilities and get my MBA degree. And so that helped me to become a development manager before the age of 30. That was my target, and I thank God for achieving that. Afterwards, I decided to accumulate all the knowledge that I've acquired from my experience and from my academic knowledge and my PhD. And that's why I decided to study the PhD, got it in the early 30s, I got the doctor title, and then I taught in parallel to my career in development for 3 years. And in the process, I published 18 publications that are under my name up till 2016, and this is where I came to Dubai. I was headhunted by Majid Al Futtaim, MAF. I stayed with them for 2 years, and for the last 4 years, I've been fortunate to work for Damac and leading the Department of Development.
So yeah, that's so impressive. I mean, personally, I'm not an academic person, you know, I'm more of a hands-on guy, but it's super impressive to see someone's journey and how they get to that certain stage, because, you know, you don't just fall into a job like that. You know, in some cases in life, sometimes it's about who you know, but a lot of the time, you know, you need the skills to back it up, so that's impressive. So I want to know, when you're creating these amazing projects like this villa we're in right now, your own, where does the inspiration come from? What, you know, when you're in front of your desk, or however you develop a project, like where does the inspiration come from to design these unique projects?
The starting point, look, in Damac we follow a very exceptional process of development. Conventional development process is as follows. You do market research, identify market gap, you decide on the sizes and mix, you proceed with your design, you launch and you sell. I have a completely different approach to that process. I start from the needs of the customer. What is his exact requirements? Look, the human brain, when it comes to decision making, it's composed of 2 sections, the Homo sapiens brain and the limbic brain. Homo sapiens brain is responsible for all the analysis. Limbic brain is the one connected to your purpose and emotions. And that's the portion of your brain that pushes the green button on purchasing an item. So we start from there. What is the needs, emotionally and physically? So what's the story that the customer would like to hear? And we back engineer the process to come up with a product that satisfies his needs emotionally and physically. And that's the unique approach that we follow.
It's amazing, because I guess, you know, looking at something like this, the unique modern villas. So when obviously I've been in, you know, the old style villas, they're, you know, the very Arabic style, but they're not very favorable anymore. So how do you think the design's changed? I guess the human brain has just, you know, wanted this slick looking unique villa. And, you know, how can you accommodate to people? Like, what do you ask the clients? What kind of questions when they want a villa?
Look, each product would address different needs, and that's why you would see different stories in different products. So let's say if you are more someone in the age bracket where you have a family, and you are, let's say, in a culture where living with the 2nd and 3rd generation is something pretty much common, you need to design the spaces in a way that are more contained, more separated, more privacy being provided for different age brackets. And at the same time, you would allow for a place for social interaction between the different generations. That's one approach. If you're in an age bracket where you are a younger guy, then you'd like to have your own private party space where you'd like to enjoy life. Also, that would require something that's more of an open space layout, large living areas, not necessarily too many bedrooms, but still you would require the sense of luxury. Let's say if you are newly married and you have young kids where you still want to enjoy life and at the same time you want to enjoy your life, then you need to find a way by which your kids would still have fun in a safe environment and at the same time you wouldn't lose the fun aspect of your life.
Absolutely.
That's why each layout would address the needs of different age brackets, and that's why you will find in every single collection that we launch, always we have a wide spectrum of layouts. That's why I think I could easily claim that Damac in every launch has the widest spectrum of layouts and options, which addresses different needs of different customers and clients.
So tell me about some of the projects that you can tell me that you're working on right now, because I'm sure there are plenty of projects that people can't talk about right now. But tell me some of the projects that you're working on right now and that you're really excited for.
One of the projects that I can talk about actually is the Beverly Hills Drive, to be launched in 10 days. That will be a very unique product, something that would mimic the California experience. The layouts will be pretty much unique. I don't believe something like it has been introduced in the market. Flexibility in the layout where you could have the separation between the formal and informal living, or having a huge area that would accommodate any party that you want. The concept of the garden has been completely revamped. Rather than having a conventional garden that's sitting in the back of your unit, we have designed it in a way that would wrap all around the unit for you as a buyer or as a customer to be able to have different views from different angles. At the same time, we have played a lot with the different levels, so we were able to accommodate even for your own private, intimate space at the second level that would help you to enjoy the view at the same time of the amazing golf course of Damac Hills, and at the same time, you would have it properly shaded, properly privatized for you also to have the convenience that would be required at your own villa.
Wow. Beverly Hills. I was actually in Los Angeles recently, and I was actually taking a trip to Beverly Hills. You know, the one thing about Dubai compared to somewhere like Beverly Hills, in my opinion, is what I love about LA and the, you know, on Beverly Hills, you'll never see a villa that looks the same as the next one. Do you think that would ever happen in Dubai? You know, because every villa looks the same, right? But for me, in LA, when you're going down, you know, Sunset Boulevard or any of the places, every single piece of land next to it is just different from the rest.
Look, we have multiple examples in Damac in which we have created different products within the same row. One of the good examples is if you just go out of my house and see across the street, you find a la carte villas, which was actually the first e-commerce experience in Dubai, where we allowed people through a digital platform to pick up the options that they would like to have for their own villas, including different layouts, different facades, different colors, different structural elements within the villa itself. And that drove a certain organic feeling on the overall cluster that wouldn't make you feel that you are repeating the same product. Another good example is the Trump cluster that has a very wide spectrum of products. So even within the same street, you would not get the boredom of having the same product being repeated. Actually, we have a very interesting surprise in the Beverly Hills Drive, where we have came up with something very interesting. I'm not gonna release too many details about it, but they are gonna be a very unique experience for every single villa. There is an element that we're gonna launch to the market that would allow you to feel that your unit is completely different than your neighbor. Actually, it will be unique in the overall cluster.
That's what we like to hear, you know. All right, so we're going to move on to some different style of questions now, because it's something that it's a massive topic right now. And the topic is, you know, the world recession is coming. A lot of people are fearing what's going to happen. But Dubai somewhat seems unique in a way that it's not slowing down. You don't see any decline in anything right now. I think, you know, there are more and more people migrating to this city. It's not hard to get, you know, residency here. It's a very open arms country. So tell me, you know, as a professional, what's your thoughts right now on the economic crash on Dubai?
I think Dubai will one more time shock the world. And I'm gonna tell you why. Let me take you through quickly the reasons behind the anticipated financial crisis. Prices of oil barrel went up. People had more money at hand. People were spending more money, which led to higher inflation. The US Federal Bank had to increase the interest rate to counter the inflation. People starting putting more money in bonds rather than investing, which is anticipating to reduce the economic cycle. Well, if you bring that to the context of Dubai, I think actually Dubai will benefit from that. One, the oil prices that are increasing actually is going to have a major impact on the economy of Dubai. Unlike the financial crisis back in 2008, where the oil barrel prices went down, nowadays that's not the case at all. Actually, it's exactly the opposite, which is going to keep the flow of cash all over the country. That's one. Second, if you look at the movement of the millionaires in the world, you will find that many millionaires entered. Actually, one of the studies that I've seen mentioned that 4,000 millionaires have already moved to Dubai. And funny enough, those 4 millionaires are not conventional millionaires. Most of them accumulated their wealth from non-conventional means like social media, like cryptocurrencies, like NFTs. And those type of millionaires, which are young by nature, they are looking for a certain lifestyle that Dubai provides. They're looking for the beach. They're looking for the unique F&B experiences, unique entertainment, All of nightlife, all of this is being provided in Dubai. I don't believe there is any place in the world that provide the lifestyle that Dubai do provide. Plus, I believe the real estate market in Dubai is highly undervalued. Actually, I believe the prices is going to keep going up. I would easily see that the next year, even if the financial crisis would hit the world, Dubai will stay resilient and the prices will keep increasing because it's going to be providing the perfect environment for people to move in. And rather for them to hedge their risk against inflation, they would put their money in real estate. Plus, particularly given the current crisis of the crypto, a lot of crypto millionaires are moving part of their wealth to real estate, also to diversify their portfolios and hedge the risks. For all of those reasons, in addition, if you look at the size of the population, Dubai has a certain target, or UAE has a certain target for population. We are getting close to 10 million people in UAE, which is a record by any mean in the modern history of UAE. Also, that's definitely going to keep pushing the demand towards demand on rental and purchase of real estate properties. And I believe not just Dubai will keep resilient against the crisis. I think it's going to shock the world one more time, and anticipate the prices to keep going up even in the upcoming 1 or 2 years during the financial anticipated crisis.
Yeah, I mean, personally, it's funny because I actually, I know I've met a lot of people in the different countries that I've lived in, and more than half of everybody that I speak to say at some point they're going to move to Dubai. A lot of people are moving their wealth. They're leaving the UK, they're leaving Europe, all the inflation, all the problems these countries are having right now, all the wars that are going on, even in London right now, you can't wear a Rolex in London without it getting stolen, You can probably leave your Rolex on a bench in Dubai and somebody will hand it in. That's the difference. But, aside from that, this is why I think the country is so great. And I want to know what your opinion is. If you've obviously got, your money invested in your own properties, but, if you were to label some properties for people, where would you personally invest your money?
Look, it depends on the lifestyle that you're looking for. There is a general, let's say, two general approaches for real estate development in the world. Either you want to be as close as possible to the city center, and then you would compromise on your lifestyle, where you would accept living in an apartment and accept living in a smaller unit, as opposed to going to the suburbs, where you buy a larger property, potentially a villa or a townhouse, where you could enjoy the amenities, enjoy the open spaces. Luckily, in Dubai, we have both being provided. And even in Dubai land, which is basically like 20 minutes away from the city center, 20 to 25 minutes, still you can able to live in a villa or a townhouse and enjoy the amazing lifestyle of the suburb community. 25 minutes, you're at the heart of Dubai, and then you can enjoy also all the amenities that are being introduced into that area. So it goes into which lifestyle you would pick up. You cannot go wrong with any one of those.
No, I agree. Personally, I work on the Palm, and I love the Palm Jumeirah. What are your thoughts on the Palm Jumeirah?
It's one of the icons of Dubai, definitely. Demand on Palm is getting up and up for a very simple reason, because of the scarcity of land. Not much land is left there, and demand on the villas there is going up. So I believe it's one of the icons, and it's a very prestigious address. But the beauty of the Palm is not just the property that are located within it, because even the properties that are around the Palm are benefiting from the Palm. Because basically, when you are outside it, you are able to enjoy the view towards it and its shape and its amazing look during the night. And it's got an amazing addition to the skyline of Dubai. So that's why I believe the demand, even the properties that are on the periphery in Media City and Dubai Marina, all of those are benefiting from Dubai Palm, not just the properties that are located inside it.
Yeah, I mean, like the Palm is so unique, like you say, from any part of the marina, you look out and it just looks, there's nothing like it in the world, it's the only island in the world that you can see from space, like on a man-made island that can be seen from space. It is very unique. But I want to go back to Damac now, where is Damac going? Damac, there are a couple of top competitors with Damac, but what is the vision for Damac over the next, let's talk 5 years, because 5 years, in Dubai, a lot happens in 5 years. A lot happens in 1 year. What's going to happen in 5 years?
Damac has, I think, moved pretty much to the top of the food chain in the last couple of years. For multiple reasons. First of all, the leadership, the wise leadership of Damac was able to identify directions and visions by which we have distinguished ourselves from the competition when it comes to providing luxury products with unique USPs. If you look at our projects, every single project has a new story to be conveyed to the market and a new unique selling propositions. We don't repeat ourselves. Four, if you look at the communities being developed by Dubai, by Damac, including Damac Hills, in which we're sitting right now, Damac Lagoons, the level of activation you would see around in the parks, golf course, the lagoons of Damac Lagoons, it's insane. You wouldn't find it anywhere else. So, and that's helping Damac to elevate the level of its brand, and accordingly, if you look at even the appreciation in real estate value of any single property with the Damac brand sitting on it, it's pretty much going up, and even the rental rates of any property in Damac Hills on any Damac property is achieving very high yields. So that's why people are getting more and more confident about the brand, and I think the leadership did a great job by elevating the brand equity further more and more, and I think in the upcoming 5 years we're not going to be stopping, and we're going to keep raising the bar.
Yeah, I mean, some of the most recent Damac projects, you know what I love, and I'm sure a lot of people appreciate this, is the greenery they want to bring to it. You know, like the greenery, you know, introducing, you know, apartments with, you know, like around the parks, like Suffolk Park. You know, all of these projects, they're so unique because, you know, when you live in the desert, to see a couple of trees and like you know, all the greenery, it feels good, right?
Yeah, in addition to that, we are expanding internationally. It's not a secret that we have acquired a land in Miami with a value of $120 million. And we have a big plan for international expansion in multiple territories. We have recently completed our project 9 Elms in London, and it's Versace branded. It's one of the unique projects. Actually, it's the only Versace branded project in all of Europe, and we're pretty much proud of it. And I think we're going to keep also the international expansion, but obviously Dubai is our starting point, is our main field, and our major focus will still be there.
So I've got a question now, because I know what it's like sometimes to be overwhelmed with a lot going on. Do you ever feel overwhelmed? Do you ever feel like there's too much going on at one time?
You mean in Dubai or in Damac?
Just like as you're in your position in your company right now, you know, you're saying you're expanding worldwide. Do you ever feel like, I need to take a minute, this is a lot of work right now? If so, how do you manage that? I want to know how you manage that.
Look, the whole thing starts with the routine. No matter how intense your exposure is, it always boils down to the following: how you structure your day, how you plan it properly, and how you identify your key areas of intervention. My day starts at 5 a.m. in the morning. I wake up every day at 5 a.m. and it starts with a workout. Very intense workout every day, 7 days a week. I know that's not usually recommended by fitness trainers, but that's something that's very important for my mental and physical health. So I start, I get my body in shape, I get the adrenaline pump, I get the blood flow in my body, and this is where I feel that my mental capacity is at its peak. And this is when I start my work. I have the ability to focus for long number of hours, given the workout that I started in the morning. Second, it's very key to identify on daily basis a structure for your departments and the tracks and the project that you have at hand. And you need to plan how much time you need to spend per project. If you don't do that, you will find yourself spending most of your day on one item that might not be the most critical one. So you prioritize your magnitude of importance for each issue and for each decision. You spend most of the time on that, less time on the less important issues, and you'll find yourself by the end of the day that you have completed all what you have to complete because you had the right plan for it.
You couldn't have said that any better. Like for me, waking up in the morning, doing that workout, it just elevates your mindset. I don't think people realize how important it is. You know, there are some mornings where I've maybe neglected training and it has such an effect on my day. The concentration levels aren't there, the energy levels aren't there, the motivation's not there.
Agreed.
Yeah, and I mean, that's an amazing, you know, like position to be in where, you know, you can work like you do, still get the time for fitness in. And I think a message to anyone who, you know, doesn't really train very often and sort of neglects it, I think, you know, you're speaking to someone now, you know, from experience, that training even if it's not as intense as what some top people might do, just doing some exercise in the morning can just absolutely elevate the way that you think and the way that you perform.
I think that's a very important message, because people will assume to stay in shape you need to spend hours in the gym.
No.
That's completely wrong. 20 minutes of intense HIIT training, properly designed. You know how to include a group of muscles within your workout rather than muscle isolation. That will definitely gear up the adrenaline pump and will gear up your metabolism. And if you watch your diet during the day, then that will help you to stay in shape, and you will be actually astonished by the results that you can achieve just by properly working out for 20 minutes per day and having the proper diet.
I couldn't agree more. So, we're going to wrap this interview up now, and I want you to, what is your message you'd like to give to anyone? I know a lot of people are on the fence about moving to Dubai a lot of the time. They don't know too much about it. They don't know, if it's a good investment, because they've heard lots of stories. There's lots of rumors that go around about every country, really. But what message would you give to someone that's thinking about moving to Dubai but doesn't really know just yet?
Dubai is the land of dreams. Everything is possible. Just have a walk around in the city. Every dream that you would have about level of luxury, entertainment, lifestyle, you will find it in Dubai. And plus, Dubai is one of the safest countries in the world and one of the most regularized countries in the world. So if you want to start your own business, you can in 24 hours initiate your own business. Safety and security is second to none. The level of fairness that you would find across Dubai, unbelievable. Each person has an opportunity. Disregarding where you're coming from, disregarding your background, it doesn't matter. It all boils down to the value that you're adding to the country, and it boils down to you respecting the regulations. As long as you are within this time frame or within this general frame, the sky is the limit. Also, at the same time, Dubai still have a lot of growth opportunities. People already think so. Dubai is reached its peak. I don't believe that. We're still at the beginning. So I would highly suggest to people that, particularly the young people or the entrepreneur, all the investors that are even having second thoughts about moving or investing in Dubai, don't hesitate. Just make the move, grab the opportunity, because the train is not going to wait.
Okay, and someone that is thinking about investing in this country, the only thing I would say, and I'm sure you agree, is just find the right person to help you, because there are a lot of people trying to sell you stuff, if you come into this kind of country, and there are a lot of people competing. But if you find the right advice, the opportunities in this country can be endless. We see it every day. There are more millionaires being created in this country. There is so much wealth coming to the country, and it's just not stopping, like you're saying. So if you've not been to Dubai, guys, I highly recommend it. And that is where I'm going to wrap the interview up today. I hope you've enjoyed it with Dr. And I will catch up with everybody soon, and stay tuned for more. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe.
No problem.